Hey, DK, can you help me out? We have some questions regarding inbound leads. We're not sure who should be following up on them. And it seems as if it's causing more work than it's actually causing us benefit in the long run. And I haven't seen much business come from them. Can you help me out with that? You know what? I can. I'm going to give you some ideas that can help you. This episode is brought to you in part by TSE Certified Sales Training Program. If you're looking for a way to get your sales to the next level, I recommend you join us for our group coaching program called TSE Certified Sales Training Program. You can take it at your own pace, or you can join the group. Our next semester begins mid-September. Find all the information in the show notes, or go to thesalesevangelist.com/free course. This episode is also brought to you in part by Sales Success Summit. Learn from the 1%ers of sellers, the people who are bringing in the lion's share of the revenue, why they're so successful, how do they operate. Register for the conference October 14th through the 15th in Austin, Texas. Find all the information in the show notes. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. And I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, I'm going to answer the question you heard in the teaser regarding who should follow up on inbound leads and how do we go about doing this effectively. And I know this challenge may seem like something that's so basic, or it may seem like, well, you got a problem with inbound leads. You should be happy. But it turns out a lot of small organizations have trouble when it comes towards capitalizing and effectively utilizing inbound strategies. I want to give you some thoughts that can definitely help you and also help this individual. So again, we don't have all the variables and all the situations within this organization, don't know what small might consist of, but let's go with the idea that there are 3 people on a sales team. There's a marketing person, and this marketing person does almost everything. They may have a junior assistant that helped them out and do some writing and some content creation, and then they outsource a lot of their other marketing avenues or marketing responsibilities. The first question is, who should follow up with the lead? Now, you might think right away that this is a sales responsibility, but go back to the second half of their question where it seems like it's so much work. What I would recommend that you do is first evaluate the effectiveness of the lead, because not all leads are created equal. Let's say it's somebody that's just tire kicking, right? You don't want your salesperson to spend all this time trying to have a conversation with them, and then the next thing you know, this person is now running off with another competitor and leave you in the dust, and you're sitting there on the beach wishing that they would come back to you, screaming, "Baby, come back." Now, that's from something else. Well, you get the point. How do you know if these people are even ready to consider you or to have a real meaningful conversation? And one of the strategies that I'd recommend you do is that you have marketing do the pre-qualification. In your organization, you can set the benchmarks or come up with set the rules before you play the game. What is considered a marketing qualified lead? What is considered a sales qualified lead? What is your KPI as an organization? How many new inbound leads do you want to get per quarter or per month, or how much money do you want to generate from those leads? If you guys can set those and figure out who is the ideal customer and the persona and some of the triggers that qualify them to be a marketing qualified lead and then would qualify them to be a sales qualified lead, then you'll be in a good game, because now marketing can take care of the first part. If a lead comes in, they can vet them, just simply send a quick email or just quick scan over the email, the opt-in, to see if this person really is someone worth our time as an organization. Especially if you're a small business and you have, like, say, those 3 sales reps, and these sales reps are focusing on generating new business for the organization, as well as they're maintaining their current customer. The last thing you want to do is just to have them spend half their day sifting through leads, trying to figure out which one work or which one doesn't work. If we can point them in the right direction, they're going to be much better off. And if we can have marketing take care of the first part, the pre-qual, then it's going to increase the odds of that lead actually converting, becoming something real. Again, this doesn't have to be complicated. Marketing can just look, if the lead comes in, look and see if the website is a valid website. And if what the person title is. You can have your junior marketing rep or your intern who's helping out with marketing do some of this stuff. Just look and see on LinkedIn, or if you have tools like HubSpot or Marketo or some of these other platforms, I'm sure you can find some of that data relatively quickly, and that can probably transfer into your CRM if you're using whatever CRM you're using. So it's just, especially Salesforce, but it's just super easy at that point. And then they can say, hey, let's go ahead and assign this to the sales team. And now it becomes a sales qualified lead. I've seen organizations where the leads weren't qualified and the whole team spent time. So let's say the sales rep now who's being paid $45,000 a year plus the commission, you just do the math. They're taking all of this time working with a potential lead that turns out not to be a real lead. The website or the domain wasn't exactly correct. And then they did the hunting and they started doing all of the researching and trying to find and trying to figure this stuff out and had conversation. Turns out the person wasn't even a real prospect. The person was really fishing. This happened recently, one of the clients that I work with. But if you have the systems in place, like we're talking about, it prevents that from ever happening. It prevents them from having to go down these tunnels or these paths where they are wasting time. So that's the first step. Marketing takes care of it, pre-qualify it, send it over. The second step, and this is another reason why many organizations will say that these leads, in this particular case, these leads don't make sense, or, inbound leads are a waste. We are just getting a bunch of duds. It may be with some of the content that you're producing, some of the marketing content, maybe the ask that you're having. It also may be the giveaway that you're giving them. Those all could tie in. And if someone is not a good fit right now, marketing can take them and circle them back into the funnel where that individual now can be pre-qualified with content that you're sharing or your emails. And then maybe they can raise their hand later on when they are ready. But for a CEO or for a sales manager, sometimes it can just be annoying that these are the majority of your leads that you're getting. Again, marketing can help fix that with the content and having a proper strategy and having a proper flow and having proper drip campaigns for people who are not ready right now. And then with the separation of a marketing qualified lead versus a sales qualified lead, that's going to help. The other issue that I see sometimes is that teams will say, well, the lead, now they got a good qualified lead and, the sales team is just, since they didn't hunt for it, they take it for granted. It's just a lead that came in on a website. We'll get more of those. If it's someone that they reached out to, that they sent stuff in the mail, they sent emails to, they connected with LinkedIn, and this person finally responded, they're not going to just easily throw this off and say it's a dud. It's like you didn't work for it, so it doesn't mean that much to you. But recognize that the organization spent thousands of dollars to get this lead because you're paying marketing, you're paying the BDR or the sales rep, and you're producing the content. You have writers who are producing stuff on your website. You created the graphic work, and you have all of the different infrastructure to make sure your company is functioning, your website's functioning. You're spending thousands of dollars in the long run creating these leads. It becomes so disheartening for a sales rep now to just take that lead, call the person once, and throw it away and say it doesn't work. Even though marketing did the pre-qualification. What I would recommend that you do at this point is that just like in the sales outreach, you have a flow process or a cadence, you have a flow process or a cadence that you use in the follow-up for a particular prospect. And this should be something that's ironclad or written out in your own company's Rosetta Stone. This is your playbook, and everyone knows what you need to do when an inbound lead comes in or when you're assigned an inbound lead. Now, I learned a stat from InsideSales.com, and it said that a lead that is contacted within 5 minutes of converting is 100 times more likely to convert than if follow-up happens 90 minutes later. So when the lead first comes in, the person, obviously, they're curious, they're hot at this point, they want to learn or they're trying to figure something out. Go ahead and follow up with them right away. Don't wait to say, well, we're going to wait 2 days or wait a day or 24 hours or, we just got to give them time. We don't want to be too creepy. Listen, if they submitted something on your website, you need to strike while the iron is hot. Go ahead and have that person in marketing just do a quick research and to evaluate if this person is real, if it's a true marketing qualified lead. And if it passes that mark or check marks, then go ahead and toss it over as a sales qualified lead. Now the salesperson can take advantage of it, can reach out to them. Sales can do their quick 2 to 3 minute research where they can go ahead and look at the person's website, look at the person's LinkedIn, see if there's something they can connect on, see what pages they went to on your website. If you're using tools like HubSpot or if you're using tools like ActiveCampaign, you can see where they signed up and what they've looked at and how many times they've looked at those pages. And you can have that intel to have a meaningful conversation, understand a person's role. Now you reach out to the person. The other thing with this is that you need to add, like I mentioned with the flow process, maybe the first thing is the phone call, and then the next thing is an email. And then maybe a day later, you do another phone call, and then you do another email. Then you connect with them on LinkedIn. and then you share some of their content. But you're doing this flow process over the course of maybe 7 to 8 touch points, could be maybe the course of a week, 7 days, full business days. If you're doing that and you've done just as much work in your flow process with this person as you would with a cold person you're trying to nurture or trying to go after, you're going to get that person. You're going to grab their attention. And if not now, then if they're not ready right now, even if your marketing did qualify them and they check the marks, then toss it back into the marketing pool. But at least you guys are vetting. And I guarantee you, Mr. Sales Manager, the person who submitted this question, if you're doing this, your sales team is going to waste less time. They're going to focus on people that matter. Marketing is going to help out, and you're going to see the amount of work that they're doing is going to be minimized, but the return is going to be so much higher. So let's say you, instead of having now 10 inbound leads, marketing does the review. They recognize, you know what, only 6 of these guys are good. Let me go ahead and toss these over the line. And your sales rep reach out to them, get in touch with 5 of them, and 3 of them convert. That would be much better than them getting 10 leads and then realizing not all of them are good ones and then only 1 of them converting. It's because they didn't have that flow process. But now you're going to see a much better return. Try this out. Test it out. Email me if you have any questions. Go ahead and drop me a note on LinkedIn. Connect with me at Donald C. Kelly, or email me donald@salesevangelist.com. Would be more than willing to share my thoughts with you. And some of the things that we're seeing that's working here, we're personalizing some of these outreach as well, where I'm sending a bomb video to someone who opted in on our website. It helps, and it provides a greater way for us to have that engagement. Hey, you can try whatever works for you and your organization and your industry. But I share this stuff with you because I want to help you. I want you guys to find more ideal customers, build stronger value, close more deals. But most importantly, I want to challenge you each and every single day to go out and do big things. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the show today as much as I did. And if so, I ask that you go ahead and leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Go ahead and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to this episode. Share it with your friends. Teach them how they can subscribe to the show as well. That would be greatly appreciated. Our show today was produced by myself and the Sales Podcast Network. It was edited and mixed together by the one and only Jershon O'Bale. Our show notes today was created by the one and only Rael. Our graphics was created by Dasan. Our podcast guest coordinator is May Marr, and our podcast production coordinator is Mrs. Shannon Rasmussen. You can find audio credits to this and all of our episodes in the show notes. And as always, I am your host, your coach, your mentor, your guide down the sales journey, Mr. Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. Sales Podcast Network.